everyone. Good to see you. Happy spring. Welcome to our third installment of Spice's Mystery Guest Interviews. We're going to have a great night. I just know it. So if you're joining us tonight live on Facebook, would you just pop in, say hello, tell us where you're watching from? That'd be great. And along the way, if you have questions for our mystery guests, please put them in there. We'll do our best to try and ask them if we have some time. If you're watching us later on YouTube or on the Facebook replay, put your name in, tell us where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. So you are in for a treat tonight. Joining us all the way from the Eastern time zone, we have a 2-for-1 special for you tonight. Our guests have ties to the Midwest and they love a good barbershop bash. Please welcome Allison and Michael Hengelsberg. Here they come.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are
So
you?
good to have you here. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thanks for having us.
Yay. I cannot wait to hear about your adventures.
Oh,
The
thank
first of which I want to know, how did you two meet?
We went to high school together.
We met at band camp.
And I tell everybody this freely now. I was Allison's stalker, you see. I actually, let's see. I asked her out 4 times before she said yes.
He had bad timing.
I had very bad timing. So, yeah, and by the 4th time I wore her down and she finally said yes. And there we go.
Yeah.
That was
And the rest is history.
all the way
right.
back in 1992?
No, 1989.
No.
No. Man.
No, we met in 88.
After those 4 times.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Way back in 1988
Yes.
in my day.
Yeah, high school. Yep.
So then how did you find barbershop together?
Actually, well, it started out, I'll let you talk about your beginning.
So
part, yeah.
I've done barbershop, not officially, but I did barbershop all the way back in high school. My band director, believe it or not the choir director. I actually sang in choir, and the choir director didn't do it. But the band director actually had this 4-part music and handed it to me and says, "You need to look at this." And so I did. I had no idea that there was like an organized organization for barbershop. So I did it in high school. I dabbled in it in college. I always love a cappella stuff. But it wasn't until we moved to Wisconsin when I was traveling on the road, and Allison got involved in barbershop.
We had just moved to La Crosse, Wisconsin. I didn't know anybody, and I saw an ad in the paper for Ready, Set, Grow. Some of you might remember that whole membership thing it was 1994. 1994. And yeah, and I went down for one time, and I was like, "You're never gonna guess, it was the Sweet Adelines." And yeah, another point of interest was the course was directed. It was Great River Chorus, which they're no longer around, but was directed by Lisa Quigney at the time that I joined. And then shortly after, she stepped down and Scott directed, and that's how we know Scott and Lisa. That's where it started.
And she got involved in Great River, and because of the connection with Scott and Lisa, the 2 choruses kind of did some stuff together. And she told me, she said, "You should go down and check these guys out. They sound like an awful lot of fun." And so I went down and I checked them out. I was a road salesman, so it was really difficult for me early on to really kind of commit to it, but I did. And so I say that it was really Allison that got me kind of involved and kept dragging me into it. I absolutely. So I joined the chorus and I started directing them when Scott moved to the Twin Cities to sing with GNU, and kind of his barbershop career took off, and that kind of left me to start my barbershop career.
Yeah.
My official barbershop career. So I directed La Crosse Cooley Chordsman from 1997 through 2003, I think it was. So yeah, it was a good time. And then in 2003, our kids were starting to get to the age where they're taking more of our time. Great River Chorus kind of went out of commission, and I was traveling more for work and with family and all that stuff, so I stepped aside. So I was out of barbershop from 2003 till we moved back to Pittsburgh in 2012. But then, once again, Allison got back to Pittsburgh and she dragged me back into barbershop.
Yeah, I joined the women's chorus here, and then he shortly after joined the men's. So
Yay.
Yeah.
Good job,
can't get
Allison.
away from it.
That's right.
Well,
Can't
it's
get
all over.
over you, dear. It's so hard to forget. Anyway,
There you go. So the two of you have been quite busy the last couple of years here with a little special, major project. And I
Yeah.
believe you are sitting in that project right
We
now.
are.
yep.
And so I am fascinated by this, and we all want to hear all about your schoolie. If you can explain what that is and tell us all about this adventure that you guys have, aside from barbershop.
Yeah.
Once again, Allison has gotten me and dragged me into trouble. So in October, November of 2019, somewhere around then,
Yeah.
she comes to me with this thing. She said, "You should check this out. There's these people that are buying school buses and they're converting them into motorhomes." And
Like,
stuff.
we could
said,
do that.
Yeah, that's what she says to me all the time. We could totally do that. And of course, my first answer is, "No, you've got to be crazy.
We're
That's
not
just
doing
there's no way." But then we start watching YouTube. So to let people know who don't know, we're actually sitting inside a 2008 Thomas school bus. It's a rear engine school bus, 40-foot long almost school bus
Yeah.
that we bought as a fully functional school bus from a school district.
Yep.
Completely converted it into an RV. So you're looking at, the ceiling we put in and lights, and there's a refrigerator back there, yeah. So we
Yeah.
completely emptied it and got an empty shell.
Took us about a year because we got it at the end. Let's see, I think the end of January 2020, and we're just about finished now. So about a year. So
And you did all the work yourself?
we did. The only thing we did not do ourselves is we are sitting on our dinette cushions, and I had somebody else sew the covers. I hate sewing. I did hem the curtains, but that just reinforced the fact that I hate sewing. So I didn't do that.
I'll also be proud to tell you that we're sitting in here. I'm running my computer. We're running fans and lights and everything like that. I'm not plugged into my house.
Yeah, we have solar
I
panels.
have
on
solar
the roof.
panels on the roof, completely
Wow.
off grid, autonomous.
Yeah.
Everything just as it goes.
Yep.
But yeah, everything that is joined onto something else in this bus,
Yeah.
she and I did.
Yep.
Wow.
Every
that's just
ounce
impressive.
of paint that's in this bus, she put
Yeah, I
on.
painted.
She's I am terrible with a paintbrush. I'm great with a nail gun and saws and wood and all that stuff. I'm great with that. I'm not good with a paintbrush.
Well, I love to paint, so Allison, you and I can talk.
Yeah, I actually like painting.
I
And she's
love it.
good at it.
You
And
know.
she's good at it.
It's just you could be alone with your thoughts with your paintbrush and maybe sing some songs while you're doing it. You know?
So
Yeah,
I've,
if you-
I've- I've got a question for you two. You've got this schoolie, and I understand that you've fallen in love with it so much that you actually have given it a personal name.
Yes.
It does have a name. Yes, its name is Henry.
No,
And
where did
that
that
was-
come from?
Yeah, well, it was kind of an accident. We were painting the roof, and our neighbors, we live on like a little private lane. There are three of us on this little lane, and our neighbors kept driving by, and Michael thought, well, I should tell them that we're going to pull the bus into the field that we own to paint it because we need to paint the roof. And Michael said, well, we're putting Henry's on the roof, which is a kind of elastomeric roof paint. It's called Henry's is the brand. And she said, oh, is that the name of the bus? Henry, that's so awesome. And
And
we
I'm
were like,
no, it's not.
oh, maybe we will name it Henry.
Very cool.
Oh, I think that's
But
nice.
kind of, but so the bus's name is Henry, but this
Yeah.
is the Harmony Express schoolie.
Yeah, and that's what, like, we have an Instagram page for the bus. It's harmonyexpress.schoolie, and that's because, we like harmony and,
Actually, I have to say that the name Harmony Express came up from Steve Case.
yeah, Lisa's husband.
We were texting and talking back and forth, and I remember Allison said she talked to Steve and said, "Yeah, we bought a school bus and we're going to turn it into a motorhome." And then there was dead silence on the phone. And knowing Steve the way he is, never at a loss for words, Steve Case comes out and he says, "Yeah, so it's going to be the Harmony Express."
Yeah, we decided for that too.
So yeah, it's Henry
yeah.
the Harmony Express.
Yep.
Now this bus doesn't just sit in your driveway and house your in-laws. You actually move around the country in this thing, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. We've just started. So we started building the bus in January, end of January, beginning of February 2020. And Originally, the goal we thought was, well, maybe we can get out and start camping in it, like at the end of the 2021 camping season. This is before COVID started and all that stuff. I mean, our chorus, and we can maybe get to this later on. Our chorus had events going on. We were going to international. We were traveling, traveling internationally. We were planning on last year, all that stuff. And so we thought, constraining ourselves to just weekend work, we thought, well, maybe we'd be able to get done and start traveling end of this season in 2021. Well, then COVID happened.
Yeah,
and
we had way
thankfully
more
we had
time.
the bus inside our driveway, and it became our COVID project.
Yeah.
So we finished it up substantially. There's still,
There's a few.
If I took the camera around and showed you, I could point out the things that aren't done yet.
Yeah, there's a couple
But
finishing touches.
so we took our first trip at the end of February, and it was a baptism of fire. We didn't even get to take like a short little trip. We actually packed everything up and hightailed it down to Florida.
Yeah, we took 3 days to drive it down.
3 days down to Florida.
Yeah.
And
took our time.
I'm pleased to say that all of the systems that we put together in the bus, with the exception of there's one little thing we had go wrong. Our water system, we had a little glitch in it that we had to fix while we were down there.
Yeah,
but other than that, everything else worked exactly like we were supposed to.
Yeah.
So, we're not going to be full timers. We're not like selling our house and living in the bus full time. But I'll tell you, it's enticing.
He works from home, so but we have other ties. Obviously, we have our chorus, and our son is still in school, and whatever. So for now, it's our weekend. We're going to be weekend warriors, and then in the summer we'll take some longer trips. So
yeah, but there are lots of people. So that first trip that we took, we went to Florida, and the kind of the anchor of the trip was a schoolie gathering. It's called the Schoolie Swarm.
Yeah.
So schoolie is what they call this type of thing when they put it together. And it was school buses mainly from Florida, from the East Coast. We had a couple folks one person came from Texas, one came from Louisiana. But there were over 160 school buses there.
Yeah, all people did the same thing.
Of all different sizes and different levels of build. Some of them were really professional. Some of them, they just took the seats out and had hammocks and a bucket to wash dishes in.
Some of them were tie-dyed,
Oh yeah. Some of them were definitely that 1960s vibe.
Yeah. So
in more ways than one, there was 1960s vibe going on with some of them. But yeah, it was cool. It was really, really cool. And we sit here and look at it and say, we did this.
Yeah. A huge project. Yeah, huge. So
That's
awesome.
Awesome. All right. Anybody watching this, I want to know if you've been now inspired to get yourself a schoolie. Just let us know in the comments.
If we can, you can.
Yeah.
Hey, if I could give
it's
a
all
shout
on
out,
YouTube, right?
Well, yes.
Right.
If I can give you kind of two places to look if you want to follow, what we've done as our build and then what we're doing for travels. So Allison maintains our Instagram. We've got an Instagram account. It's at harmonyexpress.schoolie.
And schoolie is spelled with a K. It's SKOOLIE.
So harmonyexpress.schoolie. And on YouTube, we've been documenting. We've been really, really bad. I haven't posted a video since Christmas time because we were doing this last minute sprint. But pretty much, if you want to see the demolition of the bus and the beginning of the build, and actually most of the way through the build, that's youtube.com/ all one word, Harmony Express Schoolie. So there's 3 S's in the middle. EXPRESSSKOOLIE.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Check it
check
out.
us out.
Yeah.
Watch it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta bring us back to barbershop a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first time I met you two, you brought yourselves from the East to Minnesota for a tag party. And I thought, who in the world is that diehard that would travel that far to sing tags?
I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, us. We love tags.
Well,
So what's your favorite?
We're barbershop junkies.
Yeah.
So we'll go anywhere for good barbershop.
Do you have a favorite tag?
Oh boy. Yeah, it's funny because so I teach tags, so I know probably.
He knows more than 100, all 4 parts he can teach.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I
it's so
do
hard.
not.
It's like asking me to choose my favorite child.
I have a couple. I like Green Leaves of Summer. I like the snowflake tag.
Yeah, from the dark and dreary
From
skies.
the dark and dreary sky. Yeah, I like that one.
Then we've got some really juicy ones that actually Steve Case taught us a couple of them.
Yeah.
You know, some of those tags. You know, there's sometimes when you want to sing tags that you want to sing with tag singers. You know, I mean, I love tags because you can teach just about anybody to sing some tags.
Yeah.
But then for a person who's like a seasoned tag singer, sometimes it's just really nice to find 3 other people, or with Allison and me, because we can sing together,
Yeah.
2 other people, and just sing some juicy ones. And I'll come to you smiling through the years.
Yeah, that's a good
the
tag.
high-lows tag. Oh, it's just, you know, it's not easy, but boy,
It's worth it after you get it. Yeah.
it's just so much fun.
And we've been known to do, yeah, we will sing tags for hours. You know, our kids just go and do their thing, and we're just, yeah, when we were first married and we first were in La Crosse, we had our daughter. She was a really good sleeper, and we would take her everywhere. I remember going to like a barbershop show, and we'd have a babysitter, but then we'd have to go home because the babysitter would have to go home. So we'd pack her up, and we'd take our pack and play, and we'd put her somewhere in someone's spare room, and we'd sing tags until, you know, 3, 4 in the morning.
And then she gets up at 7 o'clock in the morning because she's a kid.
We love tags. We love barbershop. We do really kind of, eat, sleep, and drink barbershop.
So speaking of how much you love it, can you pick, maybe you can't, but can you pick maybe one for each of you, your like most memorable barbershop moment ever?
I'll let you go.
Well, I can think of 2, but I'm afraid you might say the one, so I think I'll be.
Yeah, you say yours.
I think I probably when I won regional with my last quartet, actually, because for as long as I've been singing barbershop, I have only been in 2 competing quartets, and Wicked was the last one. That was the only one as one regional, and it was the first time I got to go to international. So that was it was a goal of mine, and it was pretty amazing when it happened. So that would be my
congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, really.
My favorite barbershop moment, boy, there's so many good ones, but my favorite barbershop moment has been now with Greater Harmony Chorus, when I joined them in September of 2016, and we went to regional 2017, and we got second place mid-size chorus, most improved chorus, and second place regional chorus.
We improved by 80 some points.
Yeah, it was a pretty big
a lot.
improvement.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I remember, very distinct memory. The president of the chorus was standing there on stage. Her name is Michelle Smith. She was standing on stage with us, and I was new to the whole Sweet Adeline's rankings thing, and they started calling off choruses, and I was really excited when we got second place mid-size chorus. Well, at the time, Region 17 didn't have any large chorus, so mid-size chorus was that, and Michelle kept nudging me, and she's like, Michael, you know what that means? I'm like, no, what's that mean? She said, just wait. And they announced us as the second place chorus, and it blew me away. It was, and just this, and we have a very supportive region. I mean, they just were cheering. Our chorus was in tears. It was spectacular. That was, and that followed up with, getting the invite to go to international.
Yeah. And that was the first time our chorus had ever been international in 45 years, I think. Yeah, never had been to international. So that was, it was
wow.
That's really, really big time.
That's a pretty special moment. I would agree for sure.
I get tears just thinking about it.
Yeah. I'm checking the Facebook. People watching us live. We got people watching us, even someone from Madrid. Stephanie Olsen. Hi, Stephanie.
Wow. There you go.
Madrid. Yes. No questions that I see, but no one has said they want to do the Schoolie project. So I don't know.
Oh, come on.
Maybe they will after they follow your Instagram and watch your YouTube.
Yes.
And after they see the YouTube, they maybe won't. That's what shows you all the work that was involved. So.
Just look at Instagram, friends.
That's right. That's right.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun talking to you guys. Thanks for being with us, this evening. And before we go, we do have our one final signature question to ask of you.
We're ready to go already?
I know, it's short and sweet. It's short and sweet. Before we go though, we would like to know what your spice advice is.
So mine maybe is not just for spice, but just kind of in general. And it's actually the quote. I don't know if you can read it on the back sign. It says, "If not now, then when?" And I really do think that's an important thing to, if you want something, whether it's something to do with your quartet, something to do with your life, if you want to travel, why wait? Because you don't know. I mean, I think a lot of us have learned that in the last year, especially. We don't know what's coming down the road. And, if you have something you want to do, you should do it. You should, you should just do it. That's mine.
For
I
sure.
like it.
I like it. I like that a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
So mine, and this is really kind of born out of coming out of this whole pandemic thing. Allow yourself some grace. You know, a lot of us haven't been together singing. A lot of us haven't had a chance, and you may be singing with Zoom, you may be with with your chorus and think you're doing everything by the book and doing great. But just know that we haven't been singing for a long time. And when it's time to get back together and sing, you're not the same as you were a year ago. Allow yourself, it will come back. I promise it will. It will come back. But just allow yourself enough time. Don't be hard on yourself. Give yourself some grace. Know that it's going to be coming. So that's my same advice there.
I like that too.
For sure. And if anybody who's watching this on Facebook is not currently singing barbershop, you need to.
I agree.
It's not just the music. It's the fellowship that you get along with.
It's this.
It's this.
That's what we love about it. Mike Tenor from my last quartet actually called it a counterculture, because it really is just more of a, I mean, it's there's this whole family kind of vibe going on, and it's different than, another like choir that you would join, like a church choir or even a community choir. It's just different than that. It's, I wish everybody could experience it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank you so much, Allison and Michael, for that great advice and for joining us this evening. And we want to thank all of our Facebook friends who are tuned in as well. And we want to remind you that on May 12th, we'll have another Spice Mystery guest. So please put that date on your calendar. And then we also need to remind you always to live life with a little spice.
I love it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for having us. We've
Thank
enjoyed
you
it
guys
so much.
Thanks.